In this video, we're going to be memorizing the star cycle. We need to know the star cycle for stars similar and bigger in size to our Sun. To memorize this, we'll be using this location, which will act as a storage room for these facts. All you have to do is understand each image and practice reading off it in your mind at the end. Let's begin with Stellar Nebula. This is represented by a statue using his knee to crush blueberries. We get nebula from knee and the blueberries, and we get stellar from the beginning of the word statue. Next up in the star cycle, we form a protostar. To represent this, we have a star with a propeller hat at the bookshelf. The propeller represents proto. Over here, we have a quill in some ink looking straight ahead. It represents the main sequence star that is formed after the protostar. To get the word sequence, we know that the quill can see. The quill gives us the end part. All these images are here for you to piece together and get the fact from it. Let's see what the quill was looking at. It looks like there's a giant red head on the couch. This must represent the giant red star which is formed after the main sequence star. It should easily remind us what it represents. On the table, we have some plants shooting blueberries at the statue we saw on our way in. This tells us there's a link between these two images. Both of them represent different types of nebulas. This one represents planetary nebula, which are represented by the plants. Our final stop for this cycle is at this panda. It's black and white and should remind us that we form a white dwarf, which then turns into a black dwarf. This cycle was for stars that are similar in size to our Sun. Over here, we have a continuation from the big red giant for the stars that are bigger than the Sun. Instead of a planetary nebula, we get a supernova. This is represented by Superman, who is hitting the giant red head. His action can also tell us that instead of forming a normal red giant, we get a super red giant. Finally, we have our last two formations from the supernova. We can either get a neutron star or a black hole. The black hole clearly represents black hole, so the newspapers must represent new and neutron. That's all for this video. Make sure to picture this place in your head and then practice reading off the images. Make sure you've understood each image. If you found this helpful, do subscribe and share with others. Comment any topics you'd like to see in future videos.